I struggled in the years of university trying to understand and to make sense of the lack of education in Africa across the entire continent about our own history and our own cultures.
Yes.
Sadly, I came to realize as I continued my studies in university that wasn't a mistake. I thought that maybe, no, we didn't just realize. It wasn't a mistake. It was a construct. It was a structure to make sure that Africans are and remain dependent mentally.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Africa Narrative Podcast. My name is Femi Shuewu. Today, I'm diving into a topic that touches every African household, every African dream, and every African frustration. Education. Formal Western education, or as many Africans now call it, the long road to unemployment. How we got here? What's broken? Who's fixing it? And how do we build a system that actually works for Africans? I am unpacking why African education still behaves like it is trying to impress European colonizers who died 200 years ago. Why are we still learning about Roman empires but know nothing about the Mali Empire? Why a lawyer sweating in a wool wig in 32 degrees heat is considered prestigious, while a roadside mechanic who keeps entire village moving is treated like a background character. And by the end of this episode, I hope you'll understand why Africa must Africanize its education or risk producing another century of paper graduates who cannot solve African problems. Now, before we go on, please help spread the African narratives. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you will be the first to know when new videos are uploaded. Let's begin with a simple question. Who was African formal education as we know it today designed to serve? If we are honest with ourselves, formal Western education did not begin as a project to empower African societies. It was not introduced to industrialize Kano, innovate in Kisumu, or empower Dakar. It was introduced to produce clerks for colonial administration, interpreters, court assistants, low to mid-level bureaucrats who will help run colonial machinery, not engineering, not agriculture, not entrepreneurship, not African history. The goal was simple: create Africans who could help Europeans run Africa. Education was not about solving African problems. It was about maintaining European systems and dominance on African soil. Even after independence, the structures stayed largely the same. Fast forward 2026, and somehow we are still doing the same thing. Across Africa, we have built enormous systems that reward one thing above all: the ability to cram theories and pass theoretical examinations. We still punish creativity, innovation, and vocational skills. We treat artisans like failures and degree holders like royalty, even when the artisans are the ones keeping society functioning. In Kenya, a young man who becomes a plumber is seen as less successful than someone studying political science, even though the plumber will start working earlier and actually solve real life problems. In Nigeria, the colonial hierarchy is so strong that parents will proudly say, "My daughter is a doctor," but whisper, "My son is a tailor," as if tailoring isn't a billion-dollar industry. In South Africa, the education system still mirrors the apartheid-era structure: academic prestige at the top, vocational training at the bottom. And in Francophone West Africa, the system is still so French that some schools teach more about Napoleon than about Samori Toure. Memorize, regurgitate, forget, repeat.
This academy, what I have built, is an education system that exposes young people to their languages, their culture, their history, and their traditions every day as a normal part of their academic education.
Yeah.
It also equips them every single day when they graduate. My mission is not to give them a certificate, not to give them a qualification that cannot be used within their own country, that cannot get them a job within their own country. My mission after 10 years is to make sure that I have young entrepreneurs. I have young people who understand how to develop their own country, how to build the economy, how to build infrastructure, how to develop our electricity, our water, our food, our agriculture. These are things that we are still failing to do, and yet we are importing 98% of what we need into our own countries. Doesn't make sense.
In Nigeria alone, with over 300 universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, nearly 2 million graduates enter the labor market every year. 2 million. Does Nigeria have 2 million new jobs waiting for them annually? Of course not. So what are we producing? Paper graduates, degrees without direction, certificates without competence, titles without tools. We have graduates who can define entrepreneurship but cannot start a small poultry farm. Graduates who can explain macroeconomic theory but cannot draft a practical business plan. Graduates who can cite Harvard referencing style but cannot fix a leaking tap in their own house. Meanwhile, people who do these things, the mechanics, the carpenters, the farmers, the tailors, the shoemakers, the traders, are looked down upon. These are the people who build our houses, feed our families, keep our vehicles running, create small businesses, employ others, and ask nothing from the government. Yet, society treats them like they are failures. Meanwhile, the degree holder who cannot change a light bulb is waiting for the government to create jobs and blaming everyone for his unemployment. This is the tragedy of the colonial mindset. If there is no food, there is no life. If there is no life, there is no lawyer. Yet, the farmer is invincible. The lawyer is celebrated. Why? Because colonial education taught us that white collar equates to superior and manual labor equals inferior. But think about it. A bus driver is performing a public service. A doctor is performing a public service. Why is one respected and the other one ignored? Why is a traditional medicine practitioner mocked, while a doctor wearing a white coat and stethoscope is worshipped? Never mind that traditional medicine sustained African societies for thousands of years before the Europeans arrived. Never mind that many modern medicines are derived from African plants. Never mind that traditional healers often understand local illnesses better than Western trained doctors. But because the healer doesn't have a certificate from London, Brussels, or New York, we dismiss them. This is mental colonization at its purest. But let me ask you, if there is no food, can the lawyer eat his degree? If there is no maize, can the judge chew his jurisprudence? If the farmer doesn't plant, harvest, and supply, there is no society to govern. Yet, the hierarchy says doctor, lawyer, engineer, banker, farmer, mechanic, artisan. Why? A bus driver and a doctor both provide essential services. One keeps you alive medically, the other one ensures you reach the hospital. Without a working car, how does the doctor even get to his work? We have constructed a hierarchy of mental over manual work that quietly diminishes creativity and craftsmanship. Germany, that you all admire, industrialized through vocational excellence. China rose through manufacturing discipline. Why should Africa treat skilled hands as second class? This is what happens when you adopt a system without questioning it. This is not an accident. It is the result of an education system designed to make Africans admire Europe and ignore themselves. Many graduates expect employment. Few are trained to create employment. This system teaches pass exams, get certificate, apply for job, wait. And if the job does not come, blame government. But self-taught traders, mechanics, farmers, they do not wait. They create, they build, they sell, they repair, they innovate daily, they solve immediate problems. They do not hold press conferences demanding white-collar positions, and yet the society treats them as less successful. How did we become a continent where self-sufficiency is looked down upon?
I'm extremely proud after 10 years now of being open that this is the generation that I am building. I have filmmakers, I have photographers, graphic designers, I have young people who are going into building solar systems. I have young artists, young musicians. These are the future of the young people that I want to see tomorrow. Not graduating with a piece of paper, but graduating with a career and a life that will contribute to the development and the future of our nations.
If Africa's greatest challenges include youth unemployment, food insecurity, infrastructure deficit, energy instability, technological dependency, then why are the curricula not aggressively centered on agricultural innovation, local manufacturing, renewable energy solutions, practical entrepreneurship, urban planning? Why are we still graduating millions who cannot design irrigation systems in drought-prone regions? Why are we still importing toothpicks? Toothpicks!
The countries that are leading in manufacturing of goods that we use every day, of technology that we use every day, are not Germany, Britain, France, and America. It's China, India, Turkey, South Korea, and etc. And if you ask us where we are sending our students, spending lots of money for fellowship and scholarships, we are still sending them to the past. That's why they come back with good French, good English, and sometimes even good Spanish. And they cannot produce anything. Electrical engineer can't fix light bulb.
So what do we do and what must change? We Africanize education. Not by rejecting Western knowledge, but by adopting it to African realities. Imagine an education system where agriculture is taught with local crops in mind, engineering focuses on local infrastructure challenges, entrepreneurship is a core subject in classes, students learn about African empires of the past, vocational training is respected, creativity is rewarded, exam, tests, problem solving, not memorization. Students graduate with skills, not just certificates. Medicine includes traditional knowledge. The existence of Western medicine should not invalidate indigenous knowledge systems. Why not research, standardize, test, regulate, and integrate indigenous remedies? Why must legitimacy come only after approval from London, Brussels, Tokyo, or New York? African solutions do not need foreign stamps before they become valid. Africanizing education does not mean rejecting global knowledge. It means validating vocational skills as much as academic theory, teaching entrepreneurship as survival, integrating indigenous knowledge with scientific rigor, redesigning curricula to solve African problems. Education should not produce entitlement, it should produce capability. It means asking, what problem does this subject solve in my community? If it solves none, why is it compulsory or mandatory? Perhaps it's time to ask, if education was originally designed to solve European problems, shouldn't it now be redesigned to solve African ones? Imagine a village, one lawyer, one doctor, one farmer, one mechanic, one bus driver, one tailor. Practically, who is most important? The correct answer is all of them. Society is an ecosystem. When education elevates one role while degrading another, it fractures dignity, and dignity is essential for development. And maybe, just maybe, the next time you see a farmer, a mechanic, or a bus driver, you'll not see someone who failed school, but someone who mastered relevance. Thank you for spending time with me on this edition of the Africa Narrative Podcast. Africa is full of brilliant minds, but brilliance needs the right environment to shine. If this conversation moved you, please subscribe, like, and share. And if you want to support the channel more directly and get behind the scenes access, bonus content, and members only discussions, consider joining as a member. Let's build an Africa that doesn't just inherit systems but interrogates them. My name is Femi Shuewu. Until the next time, stay reflective, stay curious, and let's keep asking, who is Western education really for?
I'm a king, yes, I'm a king. I'm a king.